Alex liked to blow bubbles. Alex liked to swing. Alex loved to help. He just really wanted the independence to do.
And then for you to be proud of him, because the kid never lacked for praise.
Right.
You know, everybody's like, oh, Alex, we're so proud of you, good job. And so he was always looking for something that he could do to make you happy.
That everyone ought to do.
When he was born, it was a complete surprise to have him be born with hydrocephalus. You know, he's about a week old and they did a shunt and we finally saw some brain tissue, but prior to that, not. So you just kind of start charting the path and going through therapy and special ed, and here comes this kid that's just a riot. A lot of fun, and you learn to celebrate every little thing. He got to a point in school where he read like at a first grade level, but as far as who he was, how he interacted with people in life, he stayed at 3 years old, you know, and when you think about some of the 3-year-olds in your life, they're innocent, they're fun, they still want to sit on your lap even when they're 5'6" and you're only 5'3". That kind of innocent love and just appreciation for so many things made him so fun to be around.
Alex would literally sit outside the laundry room while it was running, waiting for it to finish so he could come and get you to go and do the next phase. Or he'd come walking down the hall with a basket full of clothes, which came out of the drawers.
Which may or may not
have been dirty.
So that we could just do
we could do laundry.
It did take 3 of us to raise Alex because he did have special needs. He had seizures. If you can imagine a 3-year-old 24/7, you can't turn your back.
That morning, I was trying to get him to lay down because I knew he wasn't feeling great, and he shot right back up and grabbed his head. We'd had shunt failures before, but it was something that you noticed the symptoms of over days, not an hour or 2. So they gave him just a little bit of Valium just to keep things calm. And I looked at him and I go, I love you, Alex. He goes, I love you, Mom. And a minute and a half later, he quit breathing.
We probably got there within just a few minutes of him collapsing. Vicki was just standing outside the room and he was on the ventilator. It was almost surreal to have him, he's declared brain dead.
I just remember grabbing Andy's arm. I go, I know we really haven't ever talked about this, but I really feel strongly about organ donation. And it was like boom, boom, both of them, yes.
Yeah. At that point, there was no question on our mind about the next steps.
There's no reason that he can't give everything that they want to be able to do an organ donation. He is so healthy. And it kind of just hit me at that moment that it was just his brain.
Yeah, it was just his brain.
We were still working with Life Center coming in. They weren't in quite yet. And just waiting for other family members to show up and for the doctors to come and sit down and have a conversation with Mom and Dad and stepmom.
I'm always so grateful to have a bedside nurse who not only believes in the donation process, but is a strong ICU nurse. You would think that once a patient has been declared legally dead that things would slow down, but they actually ramp up a lot when we're involved.
He really wasn't there. He was, as far as the kid that I know.
He looked so peaceful.
But he was warm and he was still pink and he was peaceful.
Vicki was having time, she was curled up in bed with Alex, and who am I to say you need to step away from your child so I can talk to you? So we actually had that conversation right there in the room, and that's where they were comfortable doing it, and we talked about it, and we did the paperwork right there.
You know, the whole process of organ donating, it's incredibly rewarding. It's not incredibly easy.
I was just feeling really good about the fact that I knew that 5 families had gotten a phone call and said, we have a match. And that is really pretty incredible. It really was perfect for him. He was strong. He was 20 years old.
You know, this is the most innocent, pure donor you've ever had in your entire life.
With
a great big
show
heart.
by how all his organs were placed.
And he was so healthy.
All 5 of his organs were successfully transplanted into.
And everybody's thriving.
God doesn't just roll the dice. Alex was for a reason and for a purpose.
Such a horrible thing to face the death of your child. Just to know there was somebody that was going to be saved. Gave me hope.
Absolutely.
And that was a really great feeling to have in that moment, to know that I was just thinking somebody's going to be really happy, somebody's going to get a heart of gold, and somebody's going to get a really great set of lungs.
After the surgery, I couldn't believe it. I came out of the ICU and I was able to walk from my room to my next room. So it was just unbelievable. In the first step, I can't believe how great that felt. It was like I was floating on air, and these lungs were just beautiful. They were lifting me along, and it's just something I will never forget.
I was one of the lucky people. Within 5 weeks of being listed, I was in the hospital and getting Alex's liver.
A veces gusto y tristeza también, pero por ellos.
You know, it's a hard thing to walk into a family's tragedy, to walk into the middle of the worst day of their life. And you feel that every day. You feel the weight of that when you go to work. But I know that if I didn't show up to work, the 4, 5, 6, 7 other people on the other side aren't going to get a transplant.
Your moment is sad, horribly sad. But the outcome of making that difficult decision really makes it better.
5 people that could hardly live as the way they were, that can, through the generosity of one person, have a second life and go back to doing the things that they never thought they could do again.
We poured a lot of love in that little guy, and we're glad that they're seeing the benefits.
Alex just didn't end.
Yeah.
It
was helpful for us. Yeah.
It's just the book just didn't close.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex is just, that book opened up even more.
And he made such an impact while he was here, and he continues to make an impact.
Yeah.
Que fue mi salvador, se puede decir que Dios dio esa dicha de que me donaran el corazón, y fue una dicha muy grande para mí y para él, que Dios lo tenga con él allá.
It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you, the thought of you, my love.
That was very nice.